welcome back to the channel. This will be the final episode in the Journey to Tennessee series. I believe this is number 5. So let's go ahead and get started. As I said, we left California and the first night we got to Barstow, and you can hear about that story on episode 2 or 3. I can't remember now. But we went to Barstow, was our first stop. And then the second stop we ended up stopping off in Flagstaff because my mother-in-law lives nearby. So we spent the better part of the afternoon and evening with her, just visiting. We went to dinner and things like that. So that was kind of a short travel day. But I do remember that it was a very windy day coming over the California desert and into Arizona. So I guess that's something to think about. I don't know if it's windy all the time, but our trip, it was very windy. After Barstow, if you're wondering, I'm looking down at some notes. After Flagstaff, I don't know how to pronounce this. Tucumcari, New Mexico is where we stopped, which is pretty close. It's about an hour away from the Texas Panhandle border. And a lot of people question stopping in New Mexico, and they've heard stories about stuff that's happened there. We had no problems whatsoever. Of course, we weren't staying in, Albuquerque or, anything like that. We were far east in the state, but we had no problems and so forth. The next day, we put it on our list to stop off in Amarillo at Buc-ee's. So that was a priority. That was something for us to look forward to. Never been to a Buc-ee's, so I wanted to go to a Buc-ee's. So we went to Buc-ee's, and it was kind of cool. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, and it broke up the day, although it was pretty early in the day. I think we'd only traveled maybe 2.5 hours or so, maybe 3 hours. When we got to the Buc-ee's. If you've never been to a Buc-ee's, it's a different kind of gas station. That's all I can say. I had a brisket sandwich. We got drinks. We got beaver nuggets, I believe is what they're called. And we got some other various trinkets and stuff in there. If you're not familiar with Buc-ee's, it's a big gas station. It's kind of like a mini Walmart. There's like a mini Hobby Lobby in there in one section. The whole back wall is full of fountain drinks and things like that, so you got plenty of choices. They do pulled pork sandwiches, brisket sandwiches. I think they have a chicken sandwich, and other kinds of, travel type foods. So anyway, but that was a lot of fun. So we were probably at Buc-ee's for an hour, I would guess. And then the next stop was in Oklahoma. So we went all the way through Texas and most of the way through Oklahoma on that day. That was a pretty long travel day for us. We ended up stopping, I think, Sallisaw. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I believe that's where we stopped, which is pretty darn close to the Arkansas border. And we stopped there, and the hotel we stayed at, it was a little bit out of the way because we weren't quite sure where we wanted to stop. And I was thinking, well, maybe we'll stop before that. But since everybody was doing so well, we kept pushing on. And the big thing with that one was we were pushing on into a tornado warning area. So There was no rain. There was some clouds. But when we got to the hotel, we were under a tornado warning. So, but it expired pretty quickly after we got there. I think like 20 or 30 minutes later it expired. But that was kind of interesting coming from California. You're just not used to having a tornado warning. So, but that was a good stop too. The next day we traveled all the way through Arkansas and on into Tennessee. We got to see the Welcome to Tennessee sign before they just changed it, which I do not know why they did that, but talk to the governor. So we made it all the way up to, it was Dixon, Tennessee. We decided to stop there. It's a little bit southwest of Nashville. At that point, we didn't want to drive through Nashville. So from that place to get to our new home, we could have gone up through Nashville and over the top and down, or we could go below Nashville and then down to Chattanooga and up. And so we just decided that we were going to go the southern route and come up. And that's what we did. We did that the next day. So I think it was a total of 6 days. Now we could have made it all the way the day that we stopped in Dixon. We probably could have made it all the way, but the problem with that was we'd probably be showing up here at like 8 o'clock at night. And I didn't really see the point in pushing it and getting here late at night and not having our stuff here and all that kind of stuff. So it just didn't make a lot of sense to me, because we probably would have got here, came in, looked at the house, and went to a hotel. So I just decided we would go ahead and just stay. And then from Dixon to our house, I think it was, I don't know, 4 hours or so. It wasn't that far. So we got up that morning and left Dixon. We came and we went down through Chattanooga. And if you come down, I think it's Highway 24, no. Yeah, 24 comes down into Chattanooga. You dip down into Georgia for about 5 minutes. So we got to see another state. And then we came back up, and then we headed north, and we got here. And we got here at a decent time so that we could kind of take a look-see. And I think we looked around the house and all that stuff and walked the property a little bit. And then we headed to town to get a few things. So that was our first day here. And that was kind of where we stopped on our trip. Some days were long days and some days weren't quite as long. But it was an enjoyable trip. The only thing I would say about the trip is I noticed that, especially once you get out of California, the roads got pretty bad in Arizona and New Mexico. I mean, it was a lot of the way. And as the further east you went, they got much better. Like, I don't recall having any problem with the roads, the freeways in Arkansas or anything like that. Now, once we crossed the bridge and got into Memphis roads on the freeway were hideous. Just absolutely hideous. That was, I mean, I don't even know how you drive on those roads at any reasonable speed, but people did it. Probably good for the suspension shops and the shock absorber companies and all that kind of stuff, and the tire companies. But it was pretty bad. But once we got out of Memphis, the city, which does take a little bit of time to drive through, once we got through that, the roads got much better. And like, our roads around here are excellent. I have no complaints about our roads around here. But that was my experience with the roads. So I thought I would just hit some fun facts and things that I've observed since we've got here. Today that I'm filming this, it's August 20th. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, so it's the middle of the day. And today's weather is 89 degrees. Sounds pretty reasonable, huh? The air quality is good at 33. The humidity is 50. The dew point is 68. Starts to feel a little bit muggy when it gets above 60. So it's not the worst day we've had. We've had a lot worse days. I was out here working this morning, doing some things, trying to clean off the porch still, organizing the shed, that kind of stuff. And, though this is my second shirt of the day, you do go through shirts here. You don't go through 2 or 3 on a regular day, just because they just get drenched and then they don't dry. They just they do dry. And the heat index is pretty high. It's at 9, but it's been higher too. I think the worst day I have experienced was about 95 degrees and a dew point of, was it 72, 73? That's very, that's bad. You don't really want to be out in that. I've been working outside pretty much my whole life. So, I was kind of asking my question, would I rather have a 105 degree day in Sacramento or a 90 degree day with a 65% dew point, or 65 degree dew point? Personally, I think I like it here better. Although the sun gets intense at times, we kind of have this cycle. Most days right now, in the summertime, it'll start out pretty sunny and stuff, but there's always clouds around, and they will tend to build in the afternoon. Whether they produce rain or thunderstorms, that's just a day-to-day thing. I would not trust any weather app here because it will change in a minute. I was looking on it yesterday. My weather app, we were supposed to have bad thunderstorms pretty much all day today. I looked at my app yesterday. They took them completely out. Nothing. And I went, oh, okay. So tomorrow I can get out and I can mow again. It's my weekly mowing day. So I was going to start mowing today. Needless to say, at about 6:30 this morning, we had a massive thunderstorm come through that basically was rattling the windows in the house. So take it for what it is. It's pretty exhilarating. I like thunderstorms, and it's a little different here, probably because the land is, although we're in hilly country, it's still flatter than where we came from in California. So the sound travels farther. And you definitely see the lightning light up your house, even in the middle of the day. So that's kind of interesting to deal with. So anyway, we're supposed to get some more thunderstorms this evening, sometime around 5, I think, up until like 10 o'clock tonight. And they may happen and they may not happen. So take it for what it's worth. So the last thing I just kind of wanted to touch on was the economics of the area. Obviously, gas is cheaper. I think we're around $3.80 right now, a gallon. Some of the things that are different is you can get straight up unleaded with no ethanol in it whatsoever. It does cost a little bit more, but it's good for your garden tools and your lawnmowers and that's exclusively pretty much what I've been running in my little garden tractor. but you can get that. They also have they have a lot of the. I guess it'd be kind of maybe equivalent to like an E85 or something, which is quite a bit cheaper. Like right now, I think that's around $3 a gallon, but you don't get the mileage out of it, from what I understand. So, I guess what I'm saying is you have choices here. So that's kind of the gas scene. As far as utilities, like for our house, I think our highest electric bill so far was around $150, and that was the month of July, and that was running the AC. I don't know that it shut. Well, our house is relatively efficient, so it does shut off, but it's on a lot. So, it's on all day and all night, all the time. So take that for what it's worth. I almost giggle every time I get an electric bill now, which I used to not do. Water bill is around $50 a month, and we are on a water service. Things aren't quite the same here. You don't have conglomerates, sort of like you would from where I come from in California. They're smaller utilities. So like our electric company covers, like parts of like 3 or 4 counties, but it doesn't control half the state. It doesn't control, So our electric company is actually considered a co-op. So we had to pay a fee to join the co-op, just like you would if you were joining Costco, to get our electric hooked up. So it's just a little different, but yeah. So far, I'm liking it. As far as the people are concerned, as I've said many times, they're all really nice people. When we were furniture shopping, and we bought furniture from, I think, 3 different places. The people that delivered, maybe 4 different places. The people that delivered our couch and love seat, we just kind of said, we don't have any furniture till you deliver it. So basically, we had to rush home so they could get it here, because they got here about the same time we got here. We bought a new entertainment center cabinet for the TV and stuff. Same thing. We went in and bought it, and before they swiped our credit card, they were loading it into a truck to bring it over. So that was really nice. And we ended up buying a dining room table set, different store, and they had to order that, but they came in, set it up, and all of those things, had no problems. Everybody seems to show up when they say they're going to, as far as that part's concerned. But anyway, it's just been a real fresh, a breath of fresh air, I guess, coming from California. I'm not saying that it's hard to say without being really uppity. It's just that, today the mail lady who actually delivers packages to our back porch, not down the road, not on top of the mailbox collection at the end of the street, not back at the post office. She brings them here and she puts them on the back porch. I happened to be out here today when she was here, and she's like, just nice as can be. And she's like, wow, did you hear the thunderstorm this morning? Blah. I mean, just, you get your 30 seconds of interaction with the mail lady. And And it kind of just sets you up. It's a nice thing to have that kind of community together. We had a package that ended up here that wasn't ours and ended up at another address that was ours, or we believed ours probably went to them. And 2 days ago, the gentleman just showed up at our front door and said, "Hey, FedEx delivered this package to my house. Here you go." And we said, "Wait a minute," and went and got his package, because they delivered his package to our house, and we handed him his package. We had called to get them picked up and redistributed, but no one ever showed up. So anyway, they just take it into their own hands. This isn't mine. Let's take it to them. And it's a nice feeling. But anyway, this is going to wrap up this little series of videos. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you want to go in depth on anything in specific on the move, let me know. Maybe I can come up with another video at a later date. I'm not sure what next Sunday's video will look like. We'll come up with something. But this particular little series is going to end. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.